the way the Democratic nomination works is that each candidate competes different elections to secure amount of delegates that will vote for them at the actual Democratic National Convention. We need to figure out how many delegates will go to each candidate. So in that regard, we have a predictive strategy that's trying to capture all different elements of the different races throughout the country. So that boils down to three different things. We have our national approach, our local approach, and our brand new metadata approach. I'll talk about each one of those in tandem. So the national approach comprises of looking at everything from a 30,000-foot view about looking at national trends across the country. And the goal of the local approach is to try to understand what's going on the ground. We can't be in all states, but we know people who are in all these states. Finally, this is all complemented by the metadata approach. And so the idea is that by looking at the hard numbers, we can compare that to the qualitative analysis we have through our on-the-ground research and our national research. And the idea is that by combining all three distinct forms, both the national approach, local approach, and metadata approach, in addition to the quantitative and qualitative data, that will come to one concise answer and one correct nominee. That's the idea. We're going to wait and see if it happens.
They've been kind of balancing how they utilize each of those teams and really just do a lot of thought experiments as far as like, okay, we're going to take the top 4 people. What do they have to do? Like, what's their worst case scenario as far as the nomination goes? Or what happens if somebody wins Iowa and somebody wins South Carolina? Like, what does that do for the Democratic Party? So they just do a lot of thinking, a lot of talking, a lot of like really constructive arguing, I think is the best way to put it. Essentially, it's everybody kind of bringing what they have to the table, and then everyone kind of playing devil's advocate when they need to. And they've got until February 15th to decide, so I have a lot of faith in them.
Essentially, each state is going to try and figure out who that's the people in that state support, which will eventually go and contribute to the analysis of all 50 states. And then a lot of the political team members in mock convention will use that analysis to predict one actual candidate. And so each delegate in a delegation is really playing a huge role because they're doing like the base work to make that prediction.